Okay, so then there's another question.
Can I ask my question first?
Oh,
Because
sorry.
I feel like I've been talking quite a lot.
Sorry.
So I wanted to know from you, so you're gonna, I'm using quite big words, so don't get too overwhelmed, okay?
No modesty.
I mean...
Okay.
Why do you think that young people's contribution, engagement and representation needs to be enhanced in politics, institutional politics?
Because it's your world. It's not our world. It's our world, but at the moment in terms of the age of leadership. But it's actually your world. It's you.
We're going to inherit it.
But not only that, the youth are technically, in percentage-wise, from an Pan-African perspective, percentage-wise, okay, so we're the youngest continent in the world, so we're obviously affected by it the most. But you are there's more of you than there is of us at this point in time. So it's a matter now of understanding that you don't need permission to take up space. But the thing that I would say about it is, do it with respect, do it with grace, do it with gratitude, Don't fight. This is not about, what more can the youth do? It's not about activism and...
Okay, it is about, don't say
No, it is about activism, but activism not in the sense like, where it's going to be like a takeover in terms of the youth versus the previous generations. It's more about take up space, make your point, be provocative in your thought process.
But try to do it with the mindset that we're not fighting anybody.
Who are you fighting? Because it's one earth. You're going to take care of us. So you're going to become leaders, we're going to be pensioners, but it's our pension, it's our land, it's our houses, it's our properties, you are still going to take care of us. We are ignoring the youth at our peril, 100%. I will agree with you. I will say that, I have said that. But the point is that the youth also have to take up space, being thoughtful in the way that they take up space. And if you want to inherit a better planet, a better earth, a better government, a better home, you have to be thoughtful about and mature about how are you going to do that. And I think that is where the gap lies currently, is that I said earlier, we've got a great problem.
But there's not enough.
But there's not enough. We don't have that kind. We're seeing it slowly but surely. You're seeing it in our country. I have met some really great next generation leaders. Like, I sit here, I'm upset about the state of corruption and all of the kind of things that are happening in South Africa. But when I think about, and I know some of these young leaders, when I think about that day comes, that they are going to be in power. And look, they're in their late 20s, early 30s. So when they're going to be in power in the next couple of years, South Africa will be a great place. I know that. I've told them that. I've said it out loud. So the point is that if you want to, what can you do in terms of engagement, in terms of being able to take up space with thoughtfulness would be the disclaimer, so to speak, right? So the question that I have for you now is, so we've had little discussions, the lockdown has affected you, schooling, life in general couldn't go on. You actually handled it pretty well. Because this household doesn't stop.
It does want to change either.
Aside from that, what do you see as what you are looking forward to as the youth? So, as your generation, and you're not the older youth, you're the younger youth. So, when you look forward, but in the same amount of years that you exist, so if you are 12, and if you look 12 years into the future, you're going to be a quarter century, 24 going on 25. What are you looking forward to? Are you looking forward to anything for that matter? What are you looking forward to?
Well, it's quite an interesting question to ask because there's just so many things I want to say.
So tell me what comes to mind first.
Enough words to say it. But I think that the coronavirus obviously has killed lots of people. It's ruining economies. It's not doing the world great, but the world that we know, it's not doing it great. It's not.
So there's a silver lining
it's a silver lining
to all of the different storms.
So, but I think that from a youth perspective, I think it's, for me, I don't want to say I'm happy that this happened, but I'm happy that it happened because I feel now that we're all at home, we're starting to understand what's really, really wrong with society.
Like?
We're starting to care about each other again because I feel the world is moving on too fast and we lost that humanity. We were so focused on ourselves, we didn't realize that there were also people hurting. Now people are dying, and that empathy and the sympathy, I feel, is starting to come back. Even in me, I haven't been alive for long, but I can, just because I've grown up in a world where everything just moves on whether you like it or not, and I feel that the empathy and the sympathy is coming back. So all of the issues like gender-based violence, domestic violence, which has obviously gone up a lot, gender equality, racial equality, I feel like we're paying so much attention to it now because, as I said, we were stuck in our own little bubbles. We didn't realize that the rest of the world was falling apart. And the world that we were going to inherit, it's a little bit controversial, but it wasn't worth inheriting. And now I know that, if this can happen in a matter of months where our planet is healing, people are focusing on gender-based violence more than I feel that they ever have. I'm excited to see what happens next because that means that, imagine if this is what we can do as a human race in a matter of months just to try and
reset.
That's your new favorite thing to say.
My new favorite thing to say.
Just to try and reset, can you imagine what we'll be able to do in the next 12 years? I always used to say, we'll die of climate change in 12 years. Now I'm like, maybe we won't. If we could manage like this, we're managing like this, if we can manage and our planet is healing, then, no one knows what's going to happen, but hopefully it will be good.
So do you feel more hopeful? Do you feel more excited? Do you feel more pensive? Like, what is the emotion
if I had to
that you
speak
feel
on behalf
of you,
on me, and like on what I've seen on social media, from what my friends have told me,
Yeah.
I would say that obviously everybody's scared. No matter how old you are, you're scared because you don't know what's going to happen.
Sure.
But I think as my generation and maybe some of the other older youth generations, I think that everybody's really excited to see what's going to happen because the pandemic has done so much damage, but it's done so much good also.
Yeah. The outcomes.
So it's making us feel like the world is changing, which is what so many people have fought for. It's making us feel like our work, like all the work that people have put in, is now
starting to be seen. Okay. So, shall we do this again?
Wait.
I don't know. I'm just saying, shall we do it again?
I'll come and lie in your room later and I'll talk to you.
So that was the end of International Youth Day.